Hi. It's been a little while since I've been on this platform in this way. Happy Equinox. Oh my gosh, beautiful blessings. If you're watching from the northern hemisphere, happy autumn. If you're watching from the southern hemisphere, then happy spring. This is a really beautiful time of the year because, there's only 2 days out of this entire year where all of nature, the entire planet has equal balance of equal night and equal day. And one of my former spiritual teachers, I still follow her and I still just love to pop into like things that she's doing. And she would teach me the Latin word where like equinox, the Latin word that's derived from that word, actually explains equal night and equal day. And I just felt like that's really interesting because it's such a threshold for us to cross. Where, for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, where I'm from, I'll be speaking a lot to, is that we are coming out of this light, this longer days, the heat of the summer. We came in from the spring, right? And it's just this been journey into the light. And now we are turning and crossing the threshold towards the dark, towards longer night, into the winter, and more of the death and the unraveling of all that has been. And of course, there's the opposite for you in the southern hemisphere. Um, and so this is a really beautiful time to be mindful, to slow down and say, wow, like what has been so far? Who have I become throughout this year? And also, what is ready to be let go of? So, we're going to be going through various exercises. So, what I want to encourage you to do, if you don't have, like an altar near you or something to write with. One thing I do want to encourage you to do is maybe get a candle. You can do something to energetically clear your space, whether you're working with smoke by burning herbs or resins, or you have like a spritz. Sometimes I use water to help, you know, um, clear the air and or whatever it is. Maybe you have crystals that you like to work with, but I love something that kind of sets the state, sets my state into something like, okay, this is the ritual. This is something that's really important that I'm going to be mindful of and focus in on. But also for our work together, I would recommend getting a journal, something to write with, something that you can take notes on. And of course, I'm going to be lighting my candle and all of that. So whatever you want to like really just set your space to have, I don't want to say sanctuary, but just something that really allows you to feel into the sacredness of this practice. So yeah. If you don't know me, then I'm Cynthia Gutierrez of Embodied Ritual, and I'm a spiritual embodiment coach. Really passionate about helping empaths and highly sensitive people to revive their energy and way of being so that they can, truly feel like they're embodying their authentic self and aligning to their higher calling, as well as like living a life that they truly love. Because I feel like that's what we're all here to do anyway, is to just like to make the best of this life and to heal and just leave this earth better than how we entered it, right? So anyway, I do that through a lot of embodiment and weaving in, actually, now that my journey has started bringing in a lot more of like subconscious work and this and that. And I feel like the body is a beautiful extension of the subconscious mind. But I just love really integrating the power of the mind, the wisdom of the body, and the sacredness of our spirit together. So that's kind of what you can expect us going into embodied practices today and getting really reflective and getting ideas of like, okay, how do I wish to move forward, right? Because like one thing that I feel like rituals and ceremonies really help is to get clear on our intentions, to be conscious of how we are being and how we are living our lives, right? It's like these, what is called the wheel of the year, the wheel of time that we get to experience here on this earth. These are really special moments for us to be like, okay, where am I in sync and in harmony with nature? And because we are earthlings and our human bodies are of organic matter, we are in tune, we are of nature, we are part of nature. So our body, instead of it being seen like a thing, like this pen, an object, a bag of meat and bones, what if we were to expand our consciousness to see the body as part of who we are, to see the body as a process, yeah, where the body, this body was once a child, but now that that child doesn't physically exist anymore, right? I mean, I believe it exists in various ways, but in about 10, 20, 30 years, I'm not going to be this same person that you see today, right? So, our bodies, that is part of who we are, a very vital aspect of who we are, is going through this process. And the more that we intentionally connect with our bodies and the rhythm of nature, right? It's a universal law of rhythm, that then we can really start to be more aware and conscious creators, co-creators of our reality and how we are experiencing this life through ourselves. So yeah, cyclical living and being attuned to the rhythms of life, of myself, of the creative projects that I experience, of the rhythm of raising my own family, the rhythm of being of this generation at this time here on this earth. Like the more that we become more aware of the energetic blueprints, the essences and the energies of, spring, of summer, of fall, of winter, and the beautiful gifts that they have to share with us, the more that we can, um what do I like to say here? The more that we're in tuned cyclically, I feel like the more harmony that we get to create within ourselves and in our lives, and actually can, I feel like it just allows for more acceptance and to be able to enjoy the cycle ahead even more so, right? So anyway, I can go on and on and on about this. And there'll be plenty more equinoxes and solstices to talk more about it. But anyway, so let's see here. One thing that I love to do before, opening a sacred circle is to, like I said, energetically clear the space. So if you'd like, if you've got anything to burn, if you've got anything to spray, if you've got singing bowls, or you know what I mean, like get into your elements, get into what is calling you right now to help set the frequency of yourself and of the space around you. So I'm just burning some Palo Santo right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My intention for this cleanse is to transmute, purify, and harmonize myself in this sacred space and the energy that is here being shared between us. For all who are watching now and all who will watch later. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, I love to do the electronics. Of course, sacred space here. Thank you, thank you. Beautiful. And yeah, so let's call to the guides and guardians, shall we? I think you can hear me. I should have asked this in the beginning. If you're watching live, can you let me know that you can hear me? I'm just going to turn up the volume a little bit. Anyway, I think I'm good. Yeah, the mic's moving a little bit. So, I like to work with selenite. So this is my sacred circle wand that I love to work with. And as you begin to settle into this space, I'd like to invite you to really take a look around in your environment, not just the screen, but everything around the screen and everything that is behind you. So much so that you can even say in your mind, like, flower, chair, notes. What is here with you in this space? In your mind, maybe identify any colors that are here with you. And really look with your eyes all around you. And notice if there's deep breaths that are naturally coming into this time and space. And start to feel the weight of whatever you're sitting on, whether you're in a chair, on a cushion, on the floor, or maybe you're standing. Really start to feel the weight of yourself underneath you and that contact that you have with the floor, the chair. And see if you can come into equal balance. Yeah. Not too far forward, not too far back, not slouching down or extending a little too high. Yeah. See if you can find that balance. And notice that moves slightly moment to moment. Beautiful. And at this time, I'd love to open the circle of divine white light to hold this sacred space, to guide us, to protect us, to love us, and to share insights that are meant for us on this beautiful autumn equinox day. And in this sacred circle of divine white light, I call forth our highest selves. May you join us in this circle as we begin to feel you even closer now. And noticing if there's any shifts in the body. Thank you. Call to the guides and guardians of the Eastern Gateway, element of air. Please join us in this circle of the autumn equinox celebration. And may we feel you now as you bring in the energies of new beginnings, of the rising sun in the east, of inspiring visions and ideas, and that breath of fresh air that really comes in the east. Of course, I already see birds, eagles, hawks flying in the sky, really having that high overview of what's to come. And to the guides and guardians of the Southern Gateway, element of fire, please join us in this circle as we begin to feel the energies of the South, of that campfire, of the flame, of that warmth, of that transformation that really starts to just seep into our bones that we just came out of from the summer season, right? That hot, that sweat, at least for us here in the northern hemisphere. Thank you. And to the guides and guardians of the Western Gateway, element of water. The season we are turning to now, of the setting sun, of parenthood. Noticing that descending energy that starts to seep here, come into the space. And of this moments of, I have arrived, I am here. This is what has been. I can just feel this essence of acceptance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the guides and guardians of the Northern Gateway, element of earth, of where we'll be heading to soon, but not yet. Of the slow moving creatures of the elk, where our ancestors reside, of the beloved elders in our lives, of the stillness, of that deep presence, of the middle of the night, right? Of our dream state. Thank you. For I feel it's in this northern gateway that I feel like deep integration really comes when we rest, right? Like right after that yoga sequence, just a yoga practice, you lay in shavasana to just allow everything to really land in the body. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to divine spirit, great spirit, God, goddess, however you see the one who created you, it's the guides and guardians of the spirit gateway. Thank you. We invite you into this circle, breathing life into all of us here, seen and unseen. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this beautiful moment. Yeah, that feels good. Bless. Mm. Now that the circle is open, I'm going to light my gratitude candle. It's been really fun working with this. I've been creating a lot of content. I'm going to try my other thing. Creating a lot of content with this in the background. And what a beautiful time to express our gratitude. All right. Let's see. So here we are. I would just love to know how you're feeling. How you're feeling, especially compared to when we started. I love to take those moments of like, oh, I was feeling a little rushed, earlier, kind of moving a little fast, and oh, did I forget anything? And oh, this and that. And now, like when I know that I'm here, held in this sacred circle, I feel a lot more supported. It's almost like of course, I don't have a back support behind me, but it's like I can rest here, even though I'm sitting upright and I'm totally present here with you. It's like there's a sense of just like I'm held, I'm here, I can rest and relax as I continue on. So yeah. So I want to invite you to open up your journal or a page and have something to write with, because we're going to go through just a few prompts with some embodiment practices in between. And the first thing, here in the autumn equinox, like this is a time of harvest, right? All of our ancestors, okay? All of our ancestors lived in tune with the seasons, because that's how they grew their crops, right? That's how they harvested their food. That's how they were able to live and know how to prepare themselves for the season ahead. And how to also, it's like, okay, when there's nothing to do in the season ahead, for which is winter for us, it's like, well, now we can really start to take stock of like, well, what did I learn? What worked, what didn't work, and how can I do this better? How can I learn from this? And this is a really beautiful time for us to take notes on all that. So the first journal prompt is all about acknowledging what came to fruition in this year for you. What manifested for you? What things that you expected that you're like, I really wanted to do this and I did it, and this is what happened, and I'm so excited. And as well as the things that you didn't expect, of like, oh, this thing came up and what a surprise. Like, start to take note of all that came to be this year, mostly, through since the spring, right? You can do it in January as well. I know that's with the Gregorian calendar, like that's like kind of like the when all systems go, right? Which is it's a little tricky. Anyway, we can talk more about that later. But yeah, I'd love to give you some time and space to journal what has come to fruition. Of course, you can think in terms of, your career, business, professional life. You can think of your relationships. Um, can think of creative projects that you've been you know cultivating, things personal about yourself. I'll just give you another minute. And notice what's coming up for you right now, how this is feeling in your body. Like for me, there's like this uprising through my throat of like, wow. I don't have much on my list right now, but I've been taking stock lately this week, and I'm just like, man, so much has been coming up right now of stuff that I planned, and something that like, even though, okay, so this is more of a lesson for me of like contrast has been a really interesting teacher lately for me, of like, I do something, I start something new, and I get to experience for a bit, and then I feel like I fall off the horse. Um, and then I notice like, oh, why do I feel so okay? Like for one example is taking care of my face and putting on really lovely products, and like, just taking really good care of my skin. And I had this really amazing product line, and then I stopped using it for like probably 3 months. And then I'm just like, man, why do I feel so kind of like, even like, okay, I do a shower, but then like that night I'm not like, it just doesn't. And I realized I'm like, man, I need to, I mean, I don't need to do anything, but I'm like, now I realize the contrast of how great it felt and how good I had it when I was using the skin products, to now I'm like, yeah, this isn't like, how have I gone on for so long without taking care of my skin? It just feels so good. And so I started using it again, and I'm like, yeah, like now I know, from that contrast of having something to not having something, of like how important it is, and how much it actually makes a difference in me and my life. Um, yeah. So that's something. So now that you have your list of things, we're going to do an embodied practice. So when we come into these poses, most some of them, I'll say ETK, and we're going to practice ETK, which is short for Embodied Toolkit. I'm actually right now in the middle of a certification program to learn all of the 26 ETK poses that help with various things. And so I've learned a few through previous studies. And so I kind of, there's certain ones that I'm like, oh, this would be really great. So this comes from my mentor, Mark Walsh of Embodiment Unlimited. And they're really powerful, super simple, but wow, when it's, guided in a particular way, it can be very insightful. So what you're going to do is get comfortable wherever you're sitting. You can do this standing too, if like you've been sitting a lot today and you're like, I just want to stand up. Be in a position that is, you know best and most comfortable for you right now. Usually there is a bottom half and a top half to these poses, but just for this particular ceremony, I'm only going to show you the top half. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to back this up a tad. So in relation to what has come to fruition in this year, really bringing that to mind of like, oh, this thing and this person and this event and all of that. Like, I would love for you, if you'd like to join me, to create a circle with your arms, like you're holding a huge beach ball, right? Or those big exercise balls. So, you don't have to have your arms or your fingers closed or them super wide. Like, this is a pretty relaxed, yeah? And see if you're kind of allowing your shoulders to roll forward. Like, this isn't a heavy beach ball. It's very light. Yeah. So roll the shoulders back, really relax, nice big and round arms. And here in this holding pose, going to bring to mind all of the things that have come to fruition this year in the middle here, being held by you. Imagine all of it like in a basket. And notice any emotions that come up. And notice how that feels in your body. And here, as you're holding this basket of all of the things that have come to fruition, see if you can have this as a representation of what you have created in your life, of what you, with your own hands and your own intentions and your way of being, have helped co-create this in your life. Acknowledging yourself, your efforts, your energy with in relation to what existed this year for you, what you got to experience. And notice if that recognition of like, I did this, I was a part of this because of me, this is a part of my experience. And see if that's familiar to you or if that's a little uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, I did a thing. And notice now that with the palms in, that this is what you've created. Also, because of you, with the palms flipping out, and every now and then, if you need to take a break, sometimes this can be a little strenuous on the arms. Shake it out a little bit. Now, with the palms in, that's, acknowledging your efforts of what has come to fruition. Now here, you're also going to, same position of the arms with the palms out, representing that you also had to say no to certain things for all of this to happen. There were boundaries you had to set. There were things you and people you had to say no to in order for all that has been to actually exist in your life. And say, hey, you know what? This is important to me. I need to protect this. So no to this, not in this way. Thank you very much. No, not this time. I want this, right? And notice how that is for you. Beautiful. You can let that go. And see if there's can be a moment of acknowledgement, more so of like, thank you to yourself for what you have allowed and not allowed for you to experience all of these manifestations that have come about this year. Like, you did that. You were a part of that. And that's absolutely beautiful. Awesome. Okay. So another thing, and if there's anything you'd love to share in the chat, please do. The sun's coming in right where it's like, right where it's reflecting into my eyes. So, okay, the next journal prompt is acknowledging what didn't make it this year. Acknowledging what didn't make it. What was something or a few things, whatever, that just didn't come to fruition, didn't come together the way you wanted it to, kind of fell apart when you tried. And it's just like, you know what? we've got this beautiful tree. I don't know, I've got an orange tree in my backyard, and some of the fruit is like ripe and it's just like ready to be eaten, right? And then there's other oranges that are like not fully orange, they're kind of green and they didn't fully grow to maturity. And it's important that we take those and um, start to clean up the tree, right? So that we can discard it or compost it, whatever we want to do with it, so that the tree has more energy to conserve in the winter time. Right. So that's what we're doing here. Make a list of the things that didn't quite come to fruition, the things that didn't mature, the things that didn't manifest um, fully. Got your notes? Beautiful. So notice how that feels now. Hmm. And what we're going to do here, and just so like that's also part of nature, just like the fruiting trees. Not everything comes to fruition. Some things didn't quite grow as right? Like this reminds me of a butterfly aquarium thing that we had for my daughter. Um, and one batch of caterpillars that we had, one of the caterpillars like cocooned in a way I've never seen a caterpillar cocoon before. It didn't quite make its chrysalis fully. Some parts of it were missing. And we're like, I wonder what happened. Like, whoa, that's interesting. And it even still tried to hatch. Like it did its best to come out of the cocoon, but like it didn't have any wings. And it was a little bit sad, It was like, oh, like it tried its best. It tried so hard. And, it just, it didn't fully come. And that's okay. All right. That's okay. So what we can do here to really feel what's here for us in relation to what didn't come to fruition, we can move with the element of water, because water to me really helps with one, starting to come into that acceptance, starting to allow ourselves to flow with the tide rather than resist its pull, and really let us be more in tune with our emotions, as well as gracefully let go, right? How the water just starts to, even if there's obstacles, even if there's rocks and twigs and this and that, it just finds the path of least resistance to continue on. Yeah. So I'm going to move my bolster here. I'm going to be on my hands and knees, but you're welcome to get up and be on your feet, okay? And what I'm going to do here, might back up a lot. My beautiful Cody got me a bouquet of flowers, and I just wanted the energy of them to be in the space. So we're going to be moving with the element of water. And the water to me is really, it's low to the ground, right? It drops to the floor. Sorry, my daughter's here. Just a moment. Okay. Cody's gonna try to play with her. So the water, it falls, right? And it gets in contact with the earth and it's low to the ground. So as much as you can, see if you can start to sway your hips and bend your knees. Yeah, so that you are still really connected to gravity and allowing the hips to lead the way. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be side to side. You can move forward and back or move in circles and really allowing the body to kind of have that ripple effect. Through the spine, out the arms, through the breath. And as you start to feel into the energy of water and how water starts to move through your body, we're going to imagine a river that is flowing in front of us. Yeah. And it's flowing, flowing, flowing. And every now and then, we're going to bring up one thing on our list that didn't come to fruition. And I imagine it being held here in our heart. And when you're ready, we're going to get a hold of that thing. You can have a moment with it to say thank you, or, maybe next year, or, may I just allow myself to say goodbye. Yeah. We're going to place that, when you're ready, into the river of water and allow that to be released. Yeah. I'm going to play my rain disc. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, please let me know in the chat, okay? In your own time, one by one on that list, move with them and place them in the river, and allowing your body, the movements of your body, the intentions of your mind, to allow that river for it to be released, the river to help you let it go. And if there's any emotions that come up, that's totally okay. And allow the tears, the deep breaths to flow with the tide as well. Giving you another minute to release what is no longer in service, to release what is meant to be let go of, for you to intentionally say goodbye. And see how you feel now. Okay. Beautiful. Now, the last thing that we are going to journal on for a moment is on the things that aren't quite done yet. So, the beautiful thing about this autumn equinox day is that this is actually the second harvest of three. And the third and final harvest is on, uh, well, what some, I forgot which culture it's from, Samhain. It's Halloween night, right? And the next day is like the Day of the Dead for other culture. So that point is the exact midway point between fall and winter. So we had the midway point between summer and fall. That was first harvest. Today is second harvest. And then we still have the third harvest. So there's still some time. If there's something in your life that you're like, you know what? If I just want to give it a little more, energy and love and attention and care. And it's like, I really want this to continue to grow a bit more, then take note of that too. Okay. What are you cultivating? Or excuse me, what's left to breathe more life into? Yeah. Um, so one example is that what I was saying, oh, this didn't really like come to fruition. I had intentions of a fit, strong body. Um, and I'm actually like the heaviest I've ever been. And that's okay. It's just I remembered like, wow, in the beginning of the year, like that was like, a really big thing for me. And it wasn't so much of how I looked, but more of how I wanted to feel in my body, to have that strength, to have that like vitality and just like, yeah, um, stamina. And I definitely don't like I did not cultivate that within myself. Although yesterday I actually took my very first pole dance class. I freaking love it. I was a bit tired, definitely needed some time to rest today because I wasn't sore, but like energetically I was drained. And I'm like, wow, that took a lot of like focus and energy yesterday, but I loved it. Like I still think about it. And so I'm really excited that I found a new, body-based practice for me to cultivate that fire, to cultivate that strength and feeling good in my body and being sensual. So I'm like, regardless of what I thought or expected my body to look like or feel like by the end of this year, like I can still go for that. I'm still going to go to my pole classes and just like, enjoy myself, give the best that I've got and just have fun. So, excuse me. So, what are some things in your life that you're like, the song ain't over, okay? Like there's still time for me to bring more life into this part. Um, and yeah, take note of those. Are there any projects that aren't quite done yet that you're like, oh, it's almost done? And I just need to do this one more thing. And or if you're like, I thought I was done with this, but actually I need to go back and revisit a little bit, maybe do something over again, or oh, I didn't finish it in the way that I thought I would. So yeah. What are those things that you can help finalize? What are those things that you can tie up the loose ends on? I'll give you another minute. Okay. Now, um, what we can do here, this is another ETK pose called the evaluation pose. Now, what you're going to do, you can do the standing or sitting, whatever is most comfortable for you. And what you're going to do is bring one arm, let me move this a little bit. Bring one arm underneath your like ribs a little bit, so across the belly, so that your other arm and elbow can kind of rest on it. Yeah. And then you're going to have your finger, you can have it, some people have it here, some people have it at the chin, and there's kind of a slight tilt of the head as well as like a bit of a leaning back, right? We're not coming here. We're leaning more back to take a moment, a step back on evaluating, like, okay, I know that, this has happened this year. This is not what happened this year. And what's left, right? So we're going to take a moment to evaluate. And, your head might be tilted back a little bit, might be tilted to the side so that you are in this pose, a posture that helps to evaluate and be discerning of this topic. Yeah. And really bring to mind of like, okay, with these things that are like, you know what? I actually got a little more juice for this. Like there's still a little more juice out of this fruit, right? Or just this project that like I need a bit more time, or like, you know what? That thing actually I'm not gonna give up on that thing, I can still like, enjoy something out of it. Uh what do you need? What is it that you need to help support you in that? Of like, okay, this is how it's been, but how do I wish to continue? How can I do things differently? What do I need, or what do I need less of? What do I need and what don't I actually need in order for me to really like, you know, give it my all, or just be really present with the remaining things for the year. And you can start taking note of that too. Do you need resources? Do you need support? Like, what is it that you need? Where in your life do you need more support? What are you calling into your life to help you with these final things? And you can take note of that and notice if there's like a moment of like, oh, like this thing, right? So there's like a version 2.0 of this, where this is the evaluation pose. And then there kind of comes this magician pose where the hands are like moving and the fingers are like, oh, it's starting to get creative of like and a bit innovative, right? And it's like, oh, well, I can talk to this person and maybe if I do this, then it'll be an easier process or whatever it is, right? And there's that forward movement of that curious of like, ah, I haven't thought of it this way. And what if I tried this and that? So that's kind of a good sign if that happened. And if not, that's totally okay. This is a really beautiful day to just have a reflection day. I mean, we have honestly all season. This is the season for it, right? But this is definitely a beautiful way to start it. So, yeah, with these things that you thought up, this extra support, the resources, the people, what it how how do you want to be, how do you wish to move forward to help yourself for the rest of the year, so that you can finally rest in a way that's like, oh, like I'm so glad with how I you know finished that, or how I showed up for that, or and I mean, even for me right now, it's like taking better care of myself, like the skin thing and like all this stuff. I've been letting myself rest more. I mean, of course, I'm on my menstrual cycle, so naturally, I'm like I need to rest more, and I'm okay with that. But it's just made such a difference for me to be like, okay, hold on, take stock. What is it do I need? And how do I need it? Okay, what do I got to do to support myself in that, right? So, with all that said, I'm just going to drum a little bit. And with this drum, I would love for you to really take a moment to call out, call in, invoke that support, that guidance, the self-care, the you know, broader awareness that you need in order to really feel like you can make the best of the season. Yeah. And that you can enjoy the final harvests of your crop. So I'm going to drum. Woo. That's bright. I'm going to drum. And I would love if you want to dance, if you want to speak, if you want to write some more, like this is your time to really cultivate that energy, to call it in and get excited and imagine what it's like as if it's already here now. What does it feel like in your body, in your moving, breathing, living body to have all of that now? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Just one more minute. Beautiful. Ah, beautiful. Yes. So, if you'd like to take a moment to jot down anything that might have come up, any ideas, oh, this person, I should totally talk to them, whatever, or any words that came up for yourself, like, what is it that you need? Yeah. It's that fire. Is it that moment of like, oh, you know what? I just need to be honest and real with myself more. You're welcome to jot that down. Yeah. Putting things to paper and taking note of it and like having that connection between the body and mind and visually seeing yourself. Take note of that. It makes a difference. Beautiful. All right. So that's pretty much what I've got for today. And I would love to hear your experience, what come up for you, if you've got any questions. And yeah, I hope this has been really insightful and a really beautiful experience for you. So before I say goodbye, definitely want to close the circle and say thank you to the guides and guardians that are here with us. So, as we begin to shift our attention inward and take a moment to say thank you to all of the guides and guardians, the beings that are here, seen and unseen, for supporting us in this beautiful embodied ceremony for the autumn equinox. Going to say thank you to Source, the divinity, Great Spirit, God, Goddess, the universe. Thank you for this beautiful moment, for bringing us together, for reminding us of how important it is to be intentional and in relation to our intuition, to the guidance that we receive, to our inner knowing, and to the beautiful soul family that we connect with. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings on our journey together. Release you from this circle. To the guides and guardians of the Northern Gateway, element of Earth, thank you for your love and support, and for those moments of reflection, reminding us how much of a difference it makes to slow down, to pause, and reflect on what has been. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings on our journey together. I release you from this circle. To the guides and guardians of the Western Gateway, element of water, the season that we have just entered today. Thank you for all of the blessings that you have shared with us today, and thank you for many more that we will get to experience in this season. And if you'd like, you can reflect on the setting sun today. Yeah. Reminding us that everything comes to an end in some way, shape, or form. And there is beauty in that. There is beauty in letting go. There is beauty in giving thanks, for deeply appreciating what has been and learning the lessons of how things didn't quite come as we expected. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings on our journey together. I release you from this circle. To the guides and guardians of the Southern Gateway, element of fire, thank you. Thank you for all of the beautiful, hot, sizzling moments of the summer season. Thank you for that uprising and that fast, I don't want to say fast, but that forward movement of here we go, here I am, hear me roar. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the transformations that have happened in this season behind us. And may we continue to integrate all of those experiences in a good way. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings on our journey together. I release you from this circle. To the guides and guardians of the Eastern Gateway, element of air, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And blessings to those of you in the Southern Hemisphere. They are celebrating the dawning of the sun, the coming of light. And so may you all have a beautiful journey. Thank you for the insightful moments of this ceremony. Thank you for helping us get back in touch with ourselves through our breath. Blessings. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings on our journey together. I release you from this call. And to our higher selves, to that voice that guided us here together in this time and space. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful moment. Thank you for reminding us of what is actually true for ourselves, subjectively, individually, and how all of that can continue to create a beautiful, better world for ourselves and the future generations to come. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay if you will, go if you must, and blessings in our journey together. I release you from this circle. May we continue to integrate what has happened here. And yeah, may it settle in the highest and best ways. And with that, I release this sacred circle as it is now complete. And that is that. That is that. Woo! Happy Equinox. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day and night. And yeah, if you want to get back in touch with me some more, there are plenty of links down in the description box. And of course, if you'd like to work with me closer, more like one-on-one, I actually have a couple of spots open for that. So if you'd like some embodied coaching and to have, deeper support for like, I think 3 months is the container, then you're welcome to reach out to me. Okay. DM me, email me, whatever it is. You can contact me on my website as well. So yeah, many, many blessings. Sending so much love to you and your loved ones. And I can't wait to do this again on solstice. So exciting. All right. Take care. Happy Equinox.